Hello, everyone, and welcome to Marriage Ministry Motherhood. I'm here checking out my ponytails. I had a hair wash today and I'm wearing my crown. Yesterday was my birthday, and I got it for my birthday, December 26th. If it's your first time on this channel, Marriage Ministry Motherhood, my name is Tamar V. Lawrence, and I look at the whole family, the whole being. So if you check this channel, you will see children's stories that I've been putting up every day this holiday, and it's lockdown here in the UK, so I'm hoping children are enjoying it. But marriage, ministry, motherhood, just look at the entire family body, yeah, Christian families especially. And today it's my last day in December, where we've been looking at marriage and all the things um that could go in. Of course, there's only so much you can go into in a few minute video over 4 weeks, yes, but there's so much more to come. And I wanted to finish off today with something that's really, really powerful. Have you ever read the book of Ruth? Yes, comment down below. Have you ever read the book of Ruth? And when you read the book of Ruth, what did you get out of it? Yes, we had Purity Weekend early up this year, about March, at the mission school where I work, and it was just so much came out of it that I was there able to share with the young women separately and then with the young men. And today I'm going to give them all to you, both the male and the female section of what came out of Ruth, the Moabitess, the foreigner, and what came out from Boaz. Yes. So bear with me. And I'm gonna say, if so far you like just the thought of it, just go subscribe, because there's so much more to come. Okay, so first thing, yes, Ruth, let's look at chronologically just the whole thing that happened. Yeah, it started with Ruth's faithfulness. Yes, Ruth decided to go along with her mother-in-law to her country. You know, we know the famous, where you go, I'll go, where you die, I'll die, your people will be my people. Yes, she must have been prepared to remain celibate for the rest of her life, because there was no guarantee that an Israelite would marry her. Yes, I know her first husband was an Israelite, but he had lived in her country. Yes, and here she is, prepared to go with her mother-in-law, with no intention of, with no expectations anyway, of ever being married again, because you never know what's going to happen because of all the conflict with their people, just the way that the Moabites were raised and the things that they've done to the Israelites over the years. So for me, she showed faithfulness, yes, in being willing to go and being willing to remain celibate for the rest of her life. But then her reward, let's see her reward for her faithfulness. She gleaned Boaz's field, yeah? He showed her kindness because she was a good woman, and he had heard much about her faithfulness to her mother-in-law. And that's in chapter 2, verse 11, and so on. So he rewarded her faithfulness to her mother-in-law that he heard about by ensuring that she was well looked after on his field. And then now let's look at Boaz. He showed her kindness, and that made it easy for her to do as Naomi told her to do in going on his farm and doing all those things, because this man was kind, and him being kind made it easy for her to respond to him. Months had passed, actually 2 harvests. Actually, this is not just months, this is 2 years. I live on a farm. Our mission field is a farm, and I know harvest, it's every year. Yeah, so in chapter 2, verse 23, yeah, 2 seasons, it said, had passed, and he allowed her to keep coming back on his field. He allowed her to be looked after by his men, give her water to drink, ensure that you don't even look at her the wrong way. You know, he really protected her. So now let's look at his pursuit and her response. She then showed that she is also interested in him, as he had been during harvesting. Yeah, because she noticed that he was looking out for her. She didn't miss that at all. Yes, he had told her not to glean any other field, and he even ensured that his men purposefully left wheat for her to pick up. He was showing then his interest in her and his wanting her to stay close by. Yes, he prayed a blessing. He prayed over her. Yes, chapter 2, verse 12. He pronounced a blessing on this woman the first time he met her. Yes, and right now we're looking the idea of marriage. That's what we're looking at in December. Yes, and we're looking at the kind of woman to be and the kind of man to look forward to as Christian woman. Yes, and we look at Ruth was faithful and how she was rewarded. We look at how the man reacted, and now we're looking at his response, her pursuit. Yes, and the fact that he prayed over her. Yes. Okay. So that's him. Her after some time, it was now her turn to respond, but she waited for guidance from her guardian. She did not just pick up herself and go, "Oh, he likes me. I can see that. Let me go." She had dedicated herself to her new mom, yeah? Her old mother-in-law, her new mom, and she waited to be told by her mother-in-law what to do. She did not begin to flirt or take it up on herself. She waited on Naomi to tell her when and how. And that's in chapter 3, verse 6. Yes, he told her what to do, how to do it, and when to go about it. And we know it paid off. We know. Read that book. Read the book of Ruth. It paid off. In chapter 3, verse 10, he knew from the Lord that this was who he should marry. He admired her, how chaste she was, and her faithfulness. So in chapter 3, verse 11, he was now willing to do whatever she wanted. Ooh, let's look at the weight. After everything was settled and they saw that it was okay to be married, they got married. They did. And I'll tell you what I got out of this, as I just talked you through a little bit about how they kind of went back and forth for over 2 years. Yes. What I got from this was that Ruth, as I shared a few weeks ago about just Ruth and the kind of woman she was, Ruth showed she was loyal. Yes, I got the 3 L's out of Ruth. Sorry, 3 D's. She was dedicated, which is the same as being loyal to her mother-in-law. She was driven. She was hardworking. She was out there. There must have been something about her and her hardworking self that got Boaz's attention when he asked, "Who is that?" Yes, and because she went for what she wanted, she was driven and she was disciplined. She did what her mother-in-law said. Yeah, so we know Ruth was dedicated, she was driven, and she was disciplined. Yes, as godly women, yeah, especially godly women trying to become wives or being wives, we do need to look at that. Now let's look at Boaz and his part in this. I saw the 3 P's in this young man. Yes, he showed he was a priest. He blessed her. After finding out who she was and he went and he spoke with her, he prayed over her. Immediately, it's like a ping. This man is willing to be the priest of my home. Yes. And then he showed that he was a provider. Yes. He allowed for her to have something to glean. He told his men, "I want you to make sure that you leave some behind so she has something to pick up." He showed, I'm willing to do what it takes to provide for my woman. Yes. And the third thing I saw from this man that I wish, yeah, I ensured every man, I pray every man has, yeah, and it's that he showed he also was a protector. Yes. How did he do that? How did he protect her? Okay, he showed he was he could be a priest, yeah. He showed he could provide. But how did he protect? He protected more than anything else, he protected her dignity. When her mother-in-law told her, "I want you to go and you're gonna lay by his feet, and when he wakes up, you're gonna say who you were, and you know the story." And he woke up. He knew that if she was caught there and she was seen, he knew all that would be said about her. So he said, I want you to wait, yes, until nobody's around, nobody's looking. Then you're going to cover yourself and you're going to go back and I'll come and get you. He protected her dignity. He did not go, come and lay by me. I don't care who sees, blah, blah. Okay, you've shown me your interest, so now I'm going to play on that. He protected. He went, he sought counsel, and then he spoke to the guy who basically is like, somebody's closer. It's this person you're actually supposed to be married to. You know what? There's something else that came out big with that. He went, and I think there's something where you're supposed to take off your sandals in shame if the person said, no, you're not, I'm not going to marry you. You know what? He went out and he went in public, and instead of allowing her to do it and to be told no by this man, he went and he asked for her, and the shame that was supposed to be put on her, he took on himself. He took on himself. Yes, so he could protect her from the shame of this next of kin saying, no, I'm not going to marry you. Yes, and for me, that was such a big deal. Yeah, the fact that he prayed for her and he pronounced the blessing on her. Whoa, yes, I'll marry you today, kind of thing. You show you can be the priest. Yeah. But when he also showed that he was able to protect her dignity and protect her from shame, that also was such a beautiful thing from Boaz. Yes. So I found Boaz to be a priest, a provider, and a protector. So, woman, as you wait patiently for that man that God has for you, you make sure you look out for these three things that Boaz had. Yes. So, while looking, woman, or waiting, men, patiently, proactively, yes, for love as Christian men and women, let's look at the methods that God praised, like those in the book of Ruth. Marrying out of your race or your culture can be difficult, yes, but you will find that every marriage has its difficulties. Yeah, and I say race or culture because she was a Moabitess and he was an Israelite. Yeah, it couldn't have been easy. Your biggest criteria should not be what the man or woman looks like. It should be who they look like. So not what they look like, but who they look like. They need to look like Christ, because that will take you through the tough times. Ruth and Boaz were of different ethnicity, but their characters made it work, and their dedication to Christ made it work. So as you wait to be joined, may the Lord help you to look like him, that you will find one like him. Okay, and I pray, woman, that you really take on a character of Ruth this Moabitess. Yes, and what was their ultimate reward? Their ultimate reward, they were named in the lineage of Christ, because through them they had Obed, who had Jesse, who had Daniel, who had David. Yes, and read Matthew and you will see it. This woman who was faithful, yeah, this woman who was dedicated, driven, and disciplined, and this man who was a priest, a provider, and a protector, yes, helped to bring our Savior to us. So, and that's it that I have for today as I round off this month of looking at marriage. If you're interested in knowing more and hearing more of what I have to bring as January, go into motherhood and look at that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put on the bell so you will know every time I send out a video. Every day I send out children's videos now. In this holiday, I'm not sure how much it'll continue, but I wish you all the best. And if you know that there's somebody who needs to hear this, I ask that you will just send the video to them, share it with them. Yes, if you know somebody who's looking to go into ministry, I have a lot there as well. And God bless you as we all continue to be the best that we can be in Christ. And I'm Tamar Vera Lawrence, and until next time, I love y'all. Bye.